Are you ready for a great adventure? Today on The World is Yours. Our journey starts in Southeast Asia, immersing ourselves in many cultures as we find spirituality in a cave temple of Sri Lanka. We'll set sail across the Indian Ocean to Indonesia, where here in Sumatra, we'll find the resting place of one of the world's supervolcanoes. And finally, we cap off our island excursion in one of the most beautiful countries in the Caribbean. Puerto Rico may be Spanish for rich port, but it is also rich in history and culture. So, let's get going. The world is waiting, and the world is yours. The island of Sri Lanka, known officially as the Democratic Socialist Republic of Sri Lanka, is home to a melting pot of cultures and ethnicities. Located just southeast of India, Sri Lanka's position geographically and its deep harbors made it an important hub for trade. From the time of the ancient Silk Road trade routes more than 2,200 years ago, through the modern maritime Silk Road in the 15th century. The country was under British colonial rule and was known as Ceylon. Only recently has the country, after years of unrest, become a thriving republic. Sri Lanka was the first Asian country known to have a female ruler, Queen Anula of Anuradhapura. She rose to power as the wife of King Chor Naga. And though her reign was short, only 5 years, it was the beginning of a period of great innovation in Sri Lanka, like that of the Sigiriya, or the fortress in the sky. The Sigiriya is an ancient fortress made of rock in the central province of Sri Lanka. According to the Sri Lanka Chronicle, the Kulambasa, the site for this fortress was chosen by King Kasyapa to be his new capital. The landmark, now of great historical and archaeological significance, is characterized by its large rock column that rises over 600 feet in the air. King Kasyapa built his palace on top of the rock. As we climb the astounding staircase built into the side, we'll find a plateau about halfway up, where the king had a gateway made in the shape of a giant lion, giving the structure its name, Sihari, or Lion Rock. King Kasyapa adorned his rock column with vivid, colorful images. These frescoes, or wall paintings, covered much of the western side of the rock. One of the most impressive aspects of the Sigiriya city is the gardens, which are among the oldest landscape gardens in the world, divided into 3 distinct types, but each linked to one another. First, the water gardens. A set of 3 gardens, all using unique waterways and pools, are built symmetrically and connected by the outer moat and an underground system of water pipelines. Very intricate and even more beautiful. The second type is the boulder garden. These gardens consist of several large boulders linked by winding pathways. Most of these boulders had pavilions on top and footings built into the sides for defending against attacking enemies. And third, terraced gardens are formed in the natural hill at the base of the Sigiriya rock. These terraces were constructed in a concentric plan around the base, leading from the boulder gardens to the rock staircase. The entire system of gardens, when viewed from atop of the Sigiriya, are a sight to behold. After the king's death in the 5th century, the royal palace itself was abandoned, and Sigiriya was used as a Buddhist monastery until the 14th century. Now, it's one of the most visited ancient sites in Sri Lanka, and for good reason. It's such an astounding natural landmark, From the meticulously elaborate gardens of Sigiriya, we head to the Royal Botanic Gardens of Sri Lanka. The Royal Botanic Gardens are located in the central province, near the Mahaweli River, the longest river in Sri Lanka. Attracting about 2 million visitors a year, the Royal Botanic Gardens are well known for their collection of stunning orchids, in addition to 4,000 other species of plants, spices, and even palm trees. They cover almost 150 total acres, and attached is the National Herbarium of Sri Lanka. The history of these incredible gardens dates all the way back to 1371, when King Wickramabahu III ascended to the throne. He wanted to hold his court at Peradeniya by the Mahaweli River. Kings that followed added to this settlement, and a temple was built here by King Wimala-Dharma. When the British took control of Sri Lanka, the area was converted into a botanic garden. The cannonball tree, a particularly special plant found in the gardens, was planted by King George V in 1901. Do you know why it's called the cannonball tree? Because of the cannonball-shaped fruit. With so much to see outside in the lush gardens of Sri Lanka, it's time to go inside. One of the world's most fascinating spiritual enclaves. What makes it so unique? Well, this temple is inside a cave. We're going inside the Golden Temple of Dambulla, the largest and best preserved cave temple complex in Sri Lanka. This rock cavern sits hundreds of feet over the surrounding area, an area in the country that holds more than 80 documented caves. And within 5 main caves that make up the Golden Temple, there are paintings and statues documenting Gautama Buddha and his life. In fact, there are over 150 statues of Buddha, and murals of Buddha cover 23,000 square feet of the caves. That's a lot of Buddha's life documented and preserved over all these years. There's even a depiction of his first sermon. It's amazing how much history the temple contains. The Golden Temple of Dambulla dates all the way back to the 1st century before the current era. Grab your boat shoes because it's time to hit the Indian Ocean and sail to our next island, Sumatra. But first, let's test your world knowledge. In ancient times, Sumatra had a Sanskrit name, referring to its abundance of which precious metal? A. Gold. B. Silver. C. Bronze. D. Jade. The answer coming up when we return to The World is Yours. We're back. Let's find out the answer to our question. In ancient times, Sumatra had a Sanskrit name, referring to its abundance of which precious metal? A. Gold. B. Silver. C. Bronze. D. Jade. If you said A. Gold, you're right. The Sanskrit names Swarnabhuma, meaning land of gold, and Swarnadwipa, island of gold, refer to the large gold deposits found in the highlands of the island. Sumatra is the largest island entirely in Indonesia and the 6th largest in the world. It's part of the Sunda Islands, a grouping of islands in the Malay archipelago. An archipelago is a collection of islands. The Strait of Malacca separates Sumatra from the Malay Peninsula, and the Sunda Strait divides it from the island of Java. Sumatra is part of the Greater Sunda Islands, with Borneo, Java, and Sulawesi. Along the western side of the island is the Bukit Barisan mountain range, containing several active volcanoes. The northeast area is made up more of large plains and swamps, as well as forests and systems of rivers running through them. The plant life on the island is important, and the climate makes for ideal growing conditions for some of its biggest exports. The lush tropical environment of Sumatra lends itself to the production of coffee. Sumatra is, in fact, the largest producer of Indonesian coffee. Some farmers grow Arabica coffee in the highlands, while others focus on Robusta coffee in the lowlands. There's even a special processing technique called giling basah, or wet hulling, which gives the coffee a heavy body with low acidity. And voila! It's time to make our way to Lake Toba. This massive natural lake on the island of Sumatra occupies the caldera of a supervolcano. A caldera forms when magma leaves the space it was in, below the surface of the Earth, during a volcanic eruption. When a lot of magma leaves this space very quickly, the structure above it caves in. The water of Lake Toba sits in this very vacancy. Lake Toba, also known as Danau Toba in Indonesian, spans 62 miles long, 19 miles wide, and reaches over 1,600 feet at its deepest point. That makes it the largest lake in Indonesia and the largest volcanic lake in the entire world. It sits at the very site of an eruption that reached an 8 on the Volcanic Explosivity Index, VEI. That's the highest level on the scale. In fact, the eruption at Toba, which occurred over 70,000 years ago, is the largest known explosive eruption on Earth in the last 25 million years. The lake is surrounded by some beautiful forests. The rainforest Sumatra is known for, as well as Sumatran tropical pine forests on the higher mountainsides. Most inhabitants at Lake Toba are part of a group of Sumatrans known as the Bataks. The Batak houses have a very distinct roof, which curves up at the ends, as do the hulls of their boats, which you can see sailing along the waters. To the city of Palembang. Palembang is the second largest city in Sumatra and the capital city of the South Sumatra province. It is the oldest city in Indonesia, as well as one of the oldest cities in the Malay archipelago and Southeast Asia. Located on the banks of the Musi River, it has a population of over 1.7 million people. The river divides the city into two parts. To the north, the riverbank of the Palembang is called Seberang Ilir. To the south, it's called Seberang Ulu. And the two halves are connected by what is now the landmark of the city, the Ampera Bridge. This vertical lift bridge was originally planned by Indonesia's first president, Sukarno. He wanted a bridge that would rival that of London's Tower Bridge, one that could open for ships as they passed by. The bridge, named after the president, was initially called the Bung Karno, but after his fall from power, it was renamed to the Ampera Bridge. From the banks of the Musi River to the beaches of the Java Sea, we're cruising over to Belitung. The island on the east coast of Sumatra is a great destination for tourists and travelers. Belitung is known for its granite boulders and striking white sand along its shores, particularly at two of Belitung's most popular beaches, the Tanjung Tinggi and the Tanjung Keliang. With crystal clear water that's shallow and calm, these beaches are perfect for swimming, snorkeling, and sailing. Though it's hard to leave beaches like these, we have one more island on our trip that's sure to impress. But first, let's test your world knowledge. Puerto Rico is a territory of which North American country? A. Cuba. B. Jamaica. C. Mexico. D. United States. The answer coming up when we return to The World is Yours. We're back. Let's find out the answer to our question. Puerto Rico is a territory of which North American country? A. Cuba. B. Jamaica. C. Mexico. D, United States. If you said D, United States, you're right. Puerto Rico is one of 13 unincorporated territories in the United States. Though not an incorporated state, people born in Puerto Rico are by law natural-born citizens and may travel between the island and the mainland United States. This archipelago consists of a main island, Puerto Rico, as well as a number of smaller islands, Mona, Culebra, and Vieques. When Christopher Columbus first claimed the island for Spain from the Taino people in 1493, he named it San Juan Bautista in honor of St. John the Baptist, and he called the capital city Ciudad de Puerto Rico, Rich Port City. But as time went on, traders and sailors began calling the entire island Puerto Rico, and San Juan became the name they used to refer to the main shipping port and capital city. In 1898, at the end of the Spanish-American War, Spain seceded, which means give up, control of Guam, the Philippines, and Puerto Rico to the United States under the Treaty of Paris. Puerto Ricans often still call the island Borinuen, a derivation of its Taino name, Borican. The terms Boricua and Boricano are often used to identify someone of Puerto Rican heritage. Within the capital city of San Juan is the historical colonial section of the city. The oldest settlement in Puerto Rico is known as El Viejo San Juan, or Old San Juan. Old San Juan is on an island along the north coast, just 35 miles from the east end of Puerto Rico, and connected to the mainland through Santurce by 3 bridges: the Puente Dos Hermanos, the Puente Guillermo Estevez, and the Puente San Antonio. Old San Juan is paved in blue cobblestone streets, and the streets are lined with brick and stone buildings that date back to the 16th and 17th centuries during the Spanish possession, and the Palace Casablanca, built in 1521 on land owned by the family of Juan Ponce de Leon. The very first fortification of the settlement, and next to Casablanca, on a bluff 100 feet above the shore of the island, is the Castillo San Felipe del Morro. One of the historic citadels in Puerto Rico, the Castillo San Felipe del Morro, also known as the Fuerte San Felipe del Morro, is a 16th century citadel in San Juan. The fortification was designed to guard the entrance to the San Juan Bay and defend this Spanish port city. It was built on top of the bluff and is sometimes referred to as just El Morro, or the promontory, for the rock ridge on which it sits. Another of these historic forts is the Castillo San Cristobal. Made to protect San Juan from land-based attacks, it is the largest fortification built by the Spanish in the New World. When completed in 1783, this fort spanned 27 acres, essentially wrapping around the entire city. With such incredible forts as these, it's no wonder the city was able to sustain a prolonged period of peace. And they remain well preserved to this day. There's more to see and do in Puerto Rico. It's time to visit one of the great national forests. But first, let's test your world knowledge. Coqui is the common name for what group of species native to Puerto Rico? A. Parrots. B. Bats. C. Frogs. D. Dolphins. The answer coming up when we return to The World is Yours. We're back. Let's find out the answer to our question. Coqui is the common name for what group of species native to Puerto Rico? A. Parrots. B. Bats. C. Frogs. D. Dolphins. If you said C, frogs, you're right. The coqui is one of the most common frogs in Puerto Rico. It is named after the loud chirping sound the males make at night. 16 different species of this particular frog live in Puerto Rico, 13 of which have been found in El Yunque National Forest. El Yunque is located on the slopes of the Sierra de Luquillo Mountains, which cover 28,000 acres, making it the largest public land in Puerto Rico. Though there are other rainforests in the United States, El Yunque is the only tropical rainforest in the United States National Forest System. We'll hike a number of El Yunque's great trails, see some of its renowned Taino petroglyphs, and likely see our fare of the many coqui species that call this national forest home, as well as parrots and all kinds of plant life. Bring a rain jacket, because at this forest it rains all year long. The rain keeps it lush and green, and all these amazing waterfalls flowing. El Yunque is a rainforest, after all. Well, that brings an end to our journey for today. In only 30 minutes, we've walked through majestic gardens in Sri Lanka, designed in every way imaginable, sailed through Sumatra in a Batak boat across the biggest volcanic lake in the world, and made some new coqui friends hiking through the lush rainforest in Puerto Rico. It was a lot of fun exploring these unforgettable places. There are many more adventures ahead. Until next time, the world is waiting, and the world is yours.